Hi, I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So we had a kind of a long meeting last night. We had a big topic on the agenda. It was paid parking. And I don't know about you, Gino, but I guess I would say that most people who were at the meeting didn't care for the idea.
Okay, there were a lot of people there. Okay, number one. And then number two is...
Well, there were a lot of people at the beginning for something else.
This has been...
And then some
we've
of them
been talking about paid parking, though,
for a very long
years.
time, yes.
For a few years now.
Yep.
And I think they realize that it's coming. We had a study done, right? And these were the...
These were the recommendations.
Some of the ideas?
Yep.
Were you a little surprised at how they just basically don't want it? Most people were like, don't do this. I
wasn't that surprised, but I was surprised there weren't some more people there who do favor it, because there are people who favor it, and there are people who don't. But there was way more people who don't that were there last night that spoke anyway.
Yeah.
So to make a long story short, on that item, we spent quite a while on it, probably a couple of hours. And in the end, there were a lot of questions asked, some very good questions that we didn't really have good answers to. And some of them are answers we just don't have yet, because we have an RFP out for the system that we would be using and the equipment, and we don't have it back yet. So some things are just unanswerable quite yet. But there were some other logistical things that were good points that we need to follow up on. And so there were a number of those. So in the end, basically what happened was, and also there was some confusion about exactly what is or is not being proposed. So that needs to be clarified too. We need to come up with a better way to show this. So, in the end, I'm going to kind of give the board a little write-up of all the things that I jotted down anyway that came up that we need to get answers to, and we're going to proceed to do that and hopefully have those compiled for the board's meeting on November 20th. They did actually close the public hearing, but they agreed that at the meeting on the 20th, we'll go over the clarifying information and things like that and sort of establish where we are with this, and they will allow continued public input.
Okay.
So that's what will happen on the 20th.
The board will make the final decision.
The board will make the final decision, yes.
Okay.
So that took quite a while.
So when can people expect to come back in again? What meeting?
November 20th.
Okay.
2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, in other news, the board adopted a proclamation declaring 2020 the year of the Nantucket Senior. That was nice.
Made me feel good.
I bet it did make you feel good.
Yeah.
It's your year. 2020.
Right.
It's your year.
Right.
Don't worry, Gino. I'm almost there, too. Veterans Day. Events are happening Monday the 11th. There is a ceremony next door to the town building here at the War Memorial at 11, and then a reception to follow at the Legion. If the weather's bad, the whole thing will be at the Legion at 11. The 2020 annual town meeting. Mark your calendars. Hopefully everybody already knows the date by now. I was at a meeting the other day with people who I thought would know when the 2020 annual town meeting was. Anybody? Right. When is it? Anybody? Nobody knew. Saturday, April 4th.
Just keep driving.
Burn it into your brain. I'm driving it in. It'll sink in eventually.
Yeah.
On April 5th, it'll sink in.
Right.
The warrant is open now for citizen submittals until November 18th at 4. If you are thinking about a warrant article, please go online. There's a citizen warrant article packet, or it is available here in the town admin office or at the town clerk's office.
Have you had a look at any of them?
No, I have not.
Are you not allowed to? Until...
No, I'm allowed to. I just haven't gotten... I usually wait till they're all in after the deadline to go really scour through.
I'm sure there's some interesting things in there, right?
I've heard of some.
You have? Mm-hmm. Is there any that you can bring up now?
Well, I don't know if they've been submitted yet.
I see.
There was a sewer district one that I saw was submitted. That's not very boring. Controversial. Yeah.
You want something with some...
Yeah, I heard
controversy.
Yeah,
right?
I think people talked about these in the paper recently.
Okay.
There's some articles that they were thinking about. Okay, so anyway, let's see here. The home rule petition that changed the name from the Board of Selectmen to the Select Board passed. That was big news yesterday.
Huge.
It's very important to some.
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so we had our paid parking. We got an update on the new Harbor Master building. So this project has been in the works for a while. Hopefully it's not big news to anybody. We got a $1 million grant from the state for it, and we also appropriated roughly around $2.5 million-ish from town meeting. Actually, it was more like 3 something, but it will be offset by this $1 million grant from the state. The project hopefully will begin construction sometime next spring, the spring of 2020. It will take about 12 months to complete, so no matter when we start, we are going to be spanning a summer season. So we are hoping to start it around the spring, get it done over the fall, winter, summer, fall, winter, finish up spring of 2021. This is going to be disruptive in that area, and there is going to need to be an area in the town parking lot taken up for building supplies, a bit of a staging area, and for temporary restrooms. We are not doing the valet in there this summer. The board did decide that last night. They'd been already talking about it a little bit, but the Valet Park of America representatives were present at the meeting, and they were scheduled to give a little report about the 2019 season, which they did after the paid parking was over. He actually had some good information about paid parking.
Oh, that was after,
guy from Valet. Anyway, we're not doing the valet in the town lot. So we're going to be talking to them about where we might do it. Should we do it again in front of the town building? Are there any other areas where we could do it? We've already kind of exhausted all the areas where it could possibly be done, and it might just be this. And private places too.
What was that about Andy Lowell putting 100 cars at the Brant Point Rotary there? Okay.
He suggested that the circle at Easton Street be used for a parking lot.
I don't think
you don't need to pay
people over there would be very happy with that.
I don't think so either.
But, I mean, do we own it?
Yes, we do.
It could be, right? I mean, where
I like the creativity and the thinking on this, but that is highly unlikely to happen. Sorry, Andy. It's not going to happen.
If it did happen, would it have to go to like town meeting? Or is that something?
No, it wouldn't have to go to town meeting. No, unless we were going to actually. Okay, don't freak out. Pave it, which I'm pretty sure no one wants to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for the idea, though. That we need to think of.
What about the electric
like
company?
That.
What's going on over there?
Okay, so we have gone through this already. National Grid owns that property where the valet used to be, and that was one of the things that the guy talked about in his report. People got used to that spot, and it was it's hard for people to get used to a new spot right away. It's just human nature. They go back to the old spot. Oh, it's not here. Oh, there's a sign. Oh, where is it now? And it's troublesome. So he wanted us to go back to National Grid and see if we could use that lot, and I believe that is a DOA request. It's not going to happen. Okay. So anyway, we're going to talk internally a little bit about that. What else? Okay, so the Harbor Master Building, we had some more budget reports, and the valet parking report. Next week at the board's meeting, we don't have, let's see, what am I saying? I'm going to give the board an update about fiscal 21 proposed capital projects. I gave them one in October. I'm getting just a bit of an update. Town manager monthly activity report. Public comment came up last night about the taping of public meetings.
Yes. I was a little surprised at that.
Well, we tape a lot of public meetings, and the individual that came forward would like more to be taped. So we have a budget for the taping, and this gets a little bit complicated because NCTV has a PEG channel, Public Education Government is what PEG stands for, PEG. And part of that is funded by the franchise fee that's on everybody's cable bill, which is, I think, 3% right now. Maybe it's 2. I don't remember totally, but you can go up to 5. So we're in the process of still negotiating a renewal cable license with Comcast. So if we were able to get the 5% franchise fee, then more of that could be used for the government channel, and we could tape more meetings. But NCTV has limits on what they can tape for government meetings. And so otherwise the town has to pay for them, but even then they need to have more resources to be able to get them taped. Another little problem though is that not all of our rooms are set up for taping. There's only a couple that are really set up for taping. Otherwise, somebody has to bring in a camera like we're doing right now. And it can be a bit of a setup, and it's not always good in the other rooms that aren't set up. So we have a lot of committee meetings and a very limited amount of space in which they can meet that is set up for being taped.
If it comes down to it and you need Geno TV,
Thank you, Gino.
The town can come to me and say, let's have Gino do it.
And you'll just...
And I'll do it.
You'll do it as a public service?
Well, I'll do it close to that.
All right, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so those are some of the things we have on next week. We have some sort of routine things on the agenda next week. Nothing overly controversial, I don't think.
A question about the fire station. Somebody asked, when is that? What's going on over there?
Well, the chief gave a little update about that a couple of weeks ago, and that is a thorn in our side. We are waiting for the contractor to finish the job, and there's a very gigantic punch list. At least last I knew, there was a very gigantic punch list. And there was an issue with the HVAC,
right?
Heating and
is that not fixed yet?
I think it might be fixed by now. I haven't checked in this week on it.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of little things in the building, like the trim is crooked. There's, the paint wasn't done right. We don't want to move into a building that has all that in there. Otherwise, it never gets done. So we're waiting for the contractor to do the job that they were paid for. Mm-hmm. And then we will move in. And I'm hoping that will be within the next, I don't even want to say, before the end of the year.
All right.
I should have the chief give another update, though. In fact, I'm going to jot that down, fire station. So that is what's going on at our meetings. But Gino, here I'm just going to list a couple other things that we're very actively involved in right now. The plastics ban, the 2020 plastics ban. Hopefully everybody knows about that by now. Go to the town website. If you don't, type in plastics ban. A lot of information will come up. As of June 1st, 2020, certain single-use plastics are banned from commercial sale, use, and distribution. Okay, you and I can go buy Solo cups if we want to, but we are not going to be able to buy them at the Stop and Shop, for example.
Well, don't buy them at all.
Better yet, don't buy them at all. We're working on the sewer master plan. DEP was here this week. They had a tour of the landfill. We've been hoping that they would come out and take a look at the landfill. We talked with them about emerging technologies and there's a lot of issues with solid waste, not just in Massachusetts, but worldwide, of course, but also with recyclables and plastics. It is a very serious problem. And
it is. I read something this morning
society
about
need to deal with
quality, drinking water quality and
microplastics.
It's becoming huge.
It is.
We've got to get rid of chemicals that we put into anything. I mean, all these chemicals are going to seep down eventually, and they're doing it.
Right. Anyway, so I had a little bit of an unexpected meeting with them in the morning, but it was very good and productive.
Where were they?
They're from Lakeville, Mass.
And what do they do?
DEP, sorry, Department of Environmental Protection, the Solid Waste Division.
So they met with, you met with them?
I met with them just when they got here, and then Rob and Graham, DPW Director and Recycling Coordinator, took them on a tour of the landfill. Every now and then they come and they look at their town's landfills or solid waste operations if they're permitted through DEP.
I see.
And we have a contract expiring in 2025, so we were talking with them about, what are we going to do after 2025, which we are actively exploring options and alternatives, and are we going to do the same thing? Are we going to do something different? What's it going to cost? Lots of things to think about. So we were trying to get their input on things like, is gasification facility permittable in Massachusetts right now? There are none in Massachusetts right now. There are incineration facilities. However, the state has a ban on incineration facilities. So you can't just go burn, we as a town cannot just go burn our trash. We could certainly talk with DEP about how to get a permit for that, but they have very strict rules and regulations and laws about it that we have to comply with. So lots of stuff like that. We barely scratched the surface of those things, but they were here looking at our operation.
Is there a board that's set up right now working for that?
We have an internal work group.
Internal.
Yep, it has one select board member on it, a member of the finance committee, and mostly other staff. And but we've been having monthly solid waste summits, we've called them, which has a different topic about Nantucket solid waste management every month. In fact, there's one next Thursday, the 14th. And I think it is about coastal litter and roadside litter and things like that. But there's been a different topic every month. So the public is invited to that. It is for public input. At some point, we'll probably, get a little bit more of a formalized group together, but we're just not quite ready for that. Because we want to get a lot of information ourselves first. Capital Program Committee is actively meeting about the fiscal 21 capital projects. I mentioned that I'm going to give the board an update about those at the meeting next week. We're very actively involved right now with the fiscal 21 budget development. In fact, I'm at the stage of the year where I'm about to tell people, do not schedule any meetings with me. I have to clear the decks for the budget development. And we have a presentation we're giving to the board on December 11th. So I'm starting to, I start getting cranky and panicky right around now. 2020 annual town meeting, we're starting to look at putting the warrant together for that. Well, I don't know if people totally know by now, but some people do because we've announced it at a board meeting. E-voting. We're going to have e-voting at town meeting. Town meeting only, nothing to do with elections. We will have handheld devices at the annual town meeting, and we will be voting, yes or no with those rather than raising our hands or doing voice vote. I'm not sure how it's going to work yet. If we're going to do it on every single article or just some articles. I'm just not sure.
All right. Well,
but we're going to be working on that. Yeah. And of course, we're working on the island home and long-term plans for that facility.
Oh, yes.
So there's a lot going on.
There really is.
Yeah.
Boy.
I know. My schedule is ridiculous. I don't even have time to.
I just joined a Facebook group on islands around the world. It was very interesting.
That is interesting.
So now you start to feel like even Haiti and, we're talking like remote islands all over the world. People I'm encouraging people to just go to Facebook and look at a user group for islands.
Interesting.
Around the world. So yeah.
Is anybody else?
And I told them, I've got a TV channel so I can maybe help in some way and we can all talk about what's happening.
Is anybody from Nantucket on it?
I did not
besides
see
you?
one.
Interesting.
This may be brand new. I'm not sure.
Well, it gives you a good perspective on what other islands face and do.
Definitely.
You know what we should probably do?
Yeah.
Worldwide tour of islands.
Oh, I'm in for it.
See how they all work?
Definitely.
Get some new ideas.
Great idea.
I'll go.
Which one do you want to go to first? Don't say
the obvious. There's two obvious ones for me. Bermuda and Hawaii.
Okay. But you've been to Bermuda, though.
I have.
Okay.
But I'll go back.
But you haven't been to Hawaii yet, have you?
No, I haven't been to Hawaii. Iceland, too.
And Greenland, actually. I've been to Iceland.
I'd like to go to Iceland. Greenland would be cool. Yeah, I could go there.
I was looking at flights just recently.
Uh-huh.
It's very expensive.
Really? To go to Greenland?
Very expensive, yes. Wow. They don't stop there. You got to really want to go there. You got to go to Iceland to get there, too. So you got to... Anyway.
Okay, we're way off.
Well, no, we're not. We're actually thinking about doing this, so.
That would be awesome. A contingent of Nantucket people doing a worldwide tour of islands.
And you're the one going, Libby, so
I'll head it up.
You have to go.
But I don't want to do the arranging. Well, I want to pick the places where we go, though.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But I don't want to, I don't want to have anything to do with the organizing of it. Okay, that's it, I think. You're going to the veteran stuff?
I'll be there.
Being a veteran
I'm
and all?
going to be there.
Right, Monday at 11.
And I'm looking forward to the reception at the... That sounds like it's going to have some nice chow.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Oh, yeah. Who's the lady?
Terry. Terry did a nice job.
She was like, totally, she wants everybody there, so let's
she does. She does. That was really cool.
Get there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. See you next time.